As another week goes by, the Raiders disappoint me yet again. Welcome to week 9 of the 2024 NFL season. Let's do my week 9 picks, but first, let's do a quick recap of week 8. So, during week 8 of the 2024 NFL season, I went 12-4. Slight issue with that because I chose the Cowboys initially, but I was messing around with the picks at the end, and I was clicking on the Niners and the Cowboys and the Niners and the Cowboys. I must have not clicked on the Cowboys because they were my initial pick, and my pick got locked for the Niners. So that's why I am 12-4 for week 8 instead of 11-5. So I'll still go with that. I didn't have a lot of faith in the Cowboys. Like I said in the last video, I said I'm going to regret choosing that pick. But the football gods intervened and they fixed that pick. Here's the rest of the week 8 games. So the Vikings got fucked over by the refs and lost 30-20 against the Rams. I chose the Vikings to win. Then I chose the Ravens to beat the Browns in a game in which Jameis Winston started for the Browns and torched ass on the Ravens. And the Ravens had a bunch of missed opportunities, dropped interceptions that could have won them the game. Yeah, it was a mess. Then I chose the Lions to beat the Titans, and they demolished them 52-14. The Titans suck. The Lions are the front runner to win the Super Bowl in my eyes. Then I chose the Cardinals to beat the Dolphins in Tua's return game. It wasn't enough to overcome the Cardinals and their sneaky offense. They're a very sneaky team, and I can appreciate that about them. The Cardinals won 28-27. Then I chose the Falcons to beat the Buccaneers, and the Falcons won 31-26. In a pretty close, kind of ugly game from what I saw. It didn't really look all too great. Then I chose the Texans to beat out the Colts 23-20, and Anthony Richardson definitely had a game. Yeah, they're benching him again for, not again, he got injured, but they're benching him for Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's going to come in and save the Colts probably. It was just kind of an ugly game all around. Then I chose the Eagles to beat the Bengals, and they did that pretty convincingly. It was kind of close in the beginning, I think, but then they revved it back up. That was one of the games I was watching. Eagles won 37-17. Then I chose the Jets to beat the Patriots. Drake May went out, and Jacoby Brissett came in. Didn't do a whole lot, but the entirety of the team did enough to beat the Jets 25-22. The Jets fucking suck. Aaron Rodgers he's the diva. He brought in everyone he wanted to bring in. He got the head coach fired. They brought in Adams, and they still suck. Then I chose the Packers to beat the Jaguars. They won by a field goal. Pretty close game. Then I chose the Bills to beat the Seahawks. It looked kind of close in the beginning, but then the Bills just whooped ass 31-10. Then I chose the Saints to beat the Chargers in what looked kind of close in the beginning, but then the Chargers picked it up. The Saints have no offense. Derek Carr's coming back. Hopefully that'll give them a spark, but yeah, they sucked. They lost 26-8. Then I chose the Commanders to beat the Bears, and for a while it looked pretty close, pretty ugly. Two teams who were praised the entire season because they've been beating up on some shit teams, but they looked good doing so, that being Caleb Williams on the Bears and Jaden Daniels on the Commanders. And from what I saw, it was a very ugly game until the very end, in which Jaden Daniels launched a Hail Mary, and the Bears defender, who was taunting the fans in the stands, tipped the ball, and it went to one of the receivers in the end zone, and they scored the touchdown. It was fucking hysterical. And my tweet stands that the Bears will, whatever I said last episode, the Bears will finish the season 6-11. They will go 2-9 to finish the season. So that's standing firm so far. Then I chose the Broncos to beat the Panthers. They won 28-14. The Panthers suck. What can you say? Then I chose the Chiefs to beat the Raiders, and it was kind of close for a bit. It looked very competitive in the beginning. And then after Mahomes threw his daily interception, the Raiders couldn't capitalize on that, being within the 5-yard line. and we turned the ball over on downs, and the score does say 27-20, but you know, the Chiefs still look kind of ugly on offense. The defense did their best to keep us in the game, but they can only do so much without our offense scoring. The Chiefs look like the worst 7-0 team I've ever seen. Whatever. Then I chose the Cowboys to beat the Niners, but I fucked up and chose the Niners at the end. And yeah, Dak padded his stats at the end, tried to come back. Brock Purdy's doing his best to keep this team afloat. Niners won 30-24. And then Monday Night Football. What did I say last episode? Are the Steelers gonna play down the competition and keep the Giants close in the game? That's exactly what they fucking did. But they won by 8. Fuck the Steelers. Fuck the Steelers. It's stupid bullshit. All right. Entering week 9, I am 78-45. That's mainly because I should be 77-46 because of the Cowboys-Niners game, but I'm still going off of my fantasy app. So I am 78-45 going into week 9. Let's start off with Thursday Night Football. The Jets taking on the Texans. I'm going with the Texans on this because they're obviously the better team. The Jets are garbage. What can you say? I love that clip from the King of Staten Island where Pete Davidson goes, "Who bets on the Jets?" And Bill Burr goes, "The Jets are going to come back." No, they're not. They're never going to come back. That's how it's going. I'm reposting that every week I see it. Texans, come on. They're the better team. They're not as dysfunctional as the fucking Jets. The season's over for the Jets already. Then we move on to the Sunday games. The Cowboys taking on the Falcons. The Falcons, come on. They're the more impressive team. They're 5-3. Cowboys are 3-4. The Falcons haven't had so many uh-ohs that the Cowboys have had. It's the Falcons. Come on. The Cowboys, they suck. Then we got the Dolphins visiting the Buffalo Bills. The Bills, come on. Josh Allen owns the Dolphins. He's lost to them, 3 times since he's entered the league. And like I said, Tua's back. That Dolphins offense at least produced points. They didn't look unwatchable from what I saw, but the Bills own their ass. It's the Bills. So I'm going with the Bills on this. Then we got the Raiders taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. They have the much more competitive offense. Their defense is, a little iffy. But the Raiders, man, that offense just can't get it going. I know we scored 20 points. We somehow scored 20 points last game. The touchdown in the first quarter, the touchdown in the fourth quarter, and some field goals, yeah. But that offense just can't do shit. Garbage Minshew, man. I'm sorry. Minshew Mania, it's not working out. We suck. The offensive line sucks. Our quarterback play sucks. Just throw in Desmond Ridder at this point, please. I can't do it anymore. The Bengals, they at least have an offense that can score points, so it's going to be the Bengals. Then we got the Chargers taking on the Browns, and I'm going to go with the Browns on this solely because Jameis Winston breathed life into the Browns for the first time in God knows how long. That offense looked fun to watch. They had that game-winning drive, and then the Ravens couldn't drive down the field and get the touchdown to win the game. The Chargers, on the other hand, I don't know. They don't look super hot. I mean, yeah, they did have that big win against the Saints last week, but you're beating up a kid without, you're beating up on the non-athletic kid at that point. Beaten up, injured, whatever. I'm going with the Browns. I'm going to ride the Jameis Winston train right now. He's going to eat that dub. You know how he does in that old video. I don't know. I think it's kind of funny. I like Jameis Winston. Come on. Solid Browns defense. Jameis Winston's breathing life into that offense because Deshaun Watson's out. Go with the Browns on this. I might regret this decision, but fuck it. Then we got the Patriots taking on the Titans. I'm going with the Patriots here. Doesn't matter if it's Drake May or Jacoby Brissett. The Titans suck. They threw in Mason Rudolph. That didn't work out. He sucks, man. He's just as bad as Will Levis. Come on. It's the Patriots. They look. I mean, they beat the Jets. That's funny on its own way. That's funny on its own reason. They're gonna ride that train. They're gonna beat the Titans. It's gonna be a very ugly game. This looks like the worst game of the week, I think. Then we got the Commanders taking on the Giants. The Giants had it close against the Steelers last week, but that's not because the Giants are a good team. That's because the Steelers played out in competition, because that's what the Steelers do. The Commanders, on the other hand, they faced a team very similar to them last week. A team that's beaten up on a lot of bad teams, but they looked pretty good doing so. And again, the Commanders are going to play another bad team. So it's going to be the Commanders. What am I supposed to say? Daniel Jones sucks. The rest of that fucking Giants team sucks. Neighbors is good, but what do you want me to say? Come on. Commanders. Then we got the Saints taking on the Panthers. The Saints started out 2-0, then lost 6 in a row. The Panthers started out 0-2. They beat the Raiders in week 3. And then they've lost 4 games since. Derek Carr's going to come back. Hopefully that's going to be enough to spark some life in the offense, even though the offensive line has been, not good. But the Panthers, on the other hand, just fucking suck. Derek Carr's never lost a game to the Panthers. Let's hope that continues. I'm going with the Saints on this. Then we got the Broncos taking on the Ravens. I'm going with the Ravens on this. I like the Ravens more. They did have a pretty embarrassing loss against the Browns. And the Broncos had who'd the Broncos play last week? I just did this damn recap, and I know they didn't have a bye because everyone played last week. The Panthers, yeah. But the Ravens, come on. Bo Nix underthrew and overthrew a receiver a few weeks ago. I think that's really funny. Bo Nix has looked good, but against bad teams. The Ravens just look much more competitive. I'm going with the Ravens on this. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Flowers, Likely, Andrews. Come on, it's a good offense. You don't have a lot of those big names on the Broncos offense. I mean, I know they have a winning record, but fuck the Broncos. Then we got the Bears taking on the Cardinals. I'm going with the Bears on this. I want to say I like Caleb Williams more. This is going to be a pretty close game. I think the Cardinals could win because, they're very sneaky, but I like the Bears defense. I'm going with the Bears on this. I don't have a whole lot to say, sorry. It's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a shutout. I don't think it's going to be more than 7 points. It's going to be a pretty close, kind of ugly game, I think. Bears. Because I did say that they're going to beat the Cardinals and the Patriots. I have to stay true to that tweet. And I'm going to go back on it just to make sure that that's what I tweeted, because I am sticking true to that. I said they're going to beat the Cardinals and the Patriots. So I'm sticking true to that. The tweet's going to stay true for the rest of the season. Then we got the Jags taking on the Eagles. I'm going with the Eagles. The Jags at least looked, competent enough. Who did they play last week? Why do I forget this? The Packers, yeah. They at least looked okay against the Packers. Let's look at Trevor Lawrence. 2 touchdowns, 308 yards, 21 for 32, and an interception. That's a pretty good stat line, minus the interception. But the Eagles, they look good, okay? The Eagles are looking like one of the better teams in the NFC. They're sitting at 5-2. Yeah, Eagles on this. And, Saquon Barkley is the one who's saving them. I'm sure Eagles fans hate knowing that a Giants player is doing more for them than anyone else on that damn team. Then we got the Lions taking on the Packers. I'm going with the Lions on this. You know why? Because they're the much more fun team to watch. Dan Campbell, man. I don't get it. I don't get how they can be that fun to watch, that imaginative, and just so cutthroat. I like the Packers. I like Jordan Love. I like Matt LaFleur. They're a fun team to watch too. But the Lions, come on. It's going to be a very competitive, very cutthroat game because they're going for first place in the NFC North. But I'm going with the Lions on this. It's going to be very close, I think. It's going to be within 5 points. Then we got the Rams taking on the Seahawks. I'm going with the Rams. The Seahawks have just been way too up and down. The Rams look much more competitive, I think. I'm going with the Rams on this. Even though, yeah, they looked good against the Vikings, even though the Vikings got fucked over by the refs with that fucking face mask call in the end zone that led to the safety. But they just look more competitive, I think. Geno Smith has way too many ups and downs. So I'm going with the Rams on this. Then we got the Colts taking on the Vikings. Now, before they made the Joe Flacco change, I initially had the Vikings. Do I still want to go with the Vikings? Let's see. They didn't do a whole lot in the second half of last week, the Vikings, I mean. Yeah, and these teams both had kind of ugly games, even though let's see. Yeah, the Vikings didn't do a whole lot in the second half. Only 2 field goals in the second half last week. The Colts, on the other hand, looked bad. Let's look up the Anthony Richardson stat line from last week because it is so damn funny. Anthony Richardson, he for a moment went like 2 for 10 for like 86 yards and a touchdown or something. It was really funny. But he went 10 in 32 or 10 for 32, 175 yards, a pick and a touchdown. What the fuck kind of stat line is that? And I get it, his receivers dropped quite a few passes. But damn, man. You benched Joe Flacco. The guy was getting you guys wins. Joe Flacco's a beast. I love Joe Flacco. He's elite. He's remaining elite. Like, how? In the year 2024, Joe Flacco is still elite? I know, it's the whole meme that he's elite, yada yada. Let's see. He went 2-1. Come on. But because Joe Flacco's in, because Sam Darnold is kind of having a weird regression right now, I'm going with the Colts. I initially chose the Vikings, but fuck it. I got the Colts on this. It's going to be a very funny game, I think. Then we got the Buccaneers taking on the Chiefs. Oh, also the Colts and Vikings game is Sunday Night Football. So that'll be fun. Then we got Monday Night Football. The Bucs taking on the Chiefs. I'm going with the Bucs. For the rest of the year, I'm going with whoever's going to go against the Chiefs. I'm choosing the team who's playing the Chiefs. I'm choosing the Chiefs to lose every game from now on because I can't stand this. How can the Chiefs look this damn ugly? Is it their defense keeping them in the games? Or is it that they know how to capitalize off of bullshit? Have the Chiefs had a convincing win all season? Let's look at every fucking Chiefs game so far. I'm swearing a lot. I'm sorry. They were a toe away from being tied with the Ravens in week 1. They won 27-20. The flag fucked up the Bengals. They beat the Bengals 26-25. The Falcons are stupid and didn't give to Bijan up the gut. They tried to be fun with it. They barely beat the Falcons 22-17. Then they beat the Chargers 17-10. Then they scraped by against the Saints 26-13. It was kind of close for a while until, the last quarter. Then they beat the Niners 28-18. It was ugly for a while. Then they beat the Raiders 27-20. Their biggest win is against the Saints by 13 points. This isn't the Chiefs that we used to know. Come on. I still like Baker Mayfield, even though he didn't have a so hot game last week. Let's look at the Bucs from last week. They played the Falcons, right? Yeah. 330 yards, 3 TDs, and 2 picks. I still like Baker, but I didn't expect him to be 4-4 this season. I'm still going with the Bucs though, just because someone's got to stop the Chiefs at this point, man. Come on. I mean, I get it. The Chiefs are still winning games. That defense is keeping them in, and they're just able to score because of miraculous bullshit, good play calling that no one expects, and no one knows how to cover Kelsey. But come on. Also, they got DeAndre Hopkins because the Titans are stupid, and that's definitely working out for them. But come on. The Bucs, please, Bucs, do something. And yeah, that's it. Those are my picks for Week 9 of the 2024 NFL season. What are your picks? what you think of my picks. Tell me what you thought about them in the comments below, and I'll be back with more enjoyable content like this. So, yeah, bye.